Hi there, my name is Michelle Pierce, and just like Joni, I know that it says Michelle Terrell, and I don't know why. That is my maiden name, but I've been married for a really long time, so I don't know why KU has it wrong, but I'll deal with that some other day. I am a special education teacher at a public school. This is my 16th year teaching, and I teach in a self-contained class for students with autism spectrum disorders. To qualify to be placed in my class, in theory, of course, we make these decisions based on student need, not on labels and yada yada, except the reality of public school is we also use those things. But you have to have a cognitive score of less than 60 or unable to score. So for the most part, my students are nonverbal communicators. They are what we would consider the lower end of functioning. I really, really dislike that terminology, though. So, that's just to give you a picture kind of what I do. It's a structured learning class, so I use lots of evidence-based practices from structured learning and structured teaching, as well as the ABA practices, and I'm really excited of all the things we've learned in class about those things. My experiences with assessment are predominantly reading assessments and working to complete forms and that kind of thing that our evaluation specialist and our licensed specialist in school psychology, they lead up that team to do. I do a lot of, the teacher input forms. I do a lot of just interviews, that kind of thing, when that formal assessment and informal assessment is taking place. But I am not the administrator of any of those formal assessments directly. I have had one other graduate course in assessments, so I have some background knowledge on some of the scoring, that kind of thing. But I'm really excited to delve into this even further. My number one goal for the course is to have a better understanding of what some of those assessment scores mean, and then how to use that information in my classroom to enhance the daily activities and quality of life for students based on the outcomes of those assessments. And then the other thing I'd really like to be able to do is advocate for my students as far as interpreting those test scores when we're in IEP meetings. And I think a lot of times, at least in my experiences in public schools, is that we have people in positions to administer assessments that may or may not have a lot of background knowledge in autism specifically. And so they are checking off their list of things to do without really considering the needs of the student to the fullest extent that I think is appropriate or that would be appropriate. So that's what I've got. I appreciate your time. I know it was a little bit longer video than I expected, so thanks so much for listening, and look forward to working with all of you this semester.